Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, Macbeth, Much Ado About Nothing, over 200 sonnets, and countless other scribblings. These are just a fraction of the works of William Shakespeare. Could you imagine a world where they had never been written, if they had never even existed? We thought this was a good question. What would the world be like without Shakespeare? We spoke to some experts in the fields of history, linguistics, and literature to get their opinions.
Well, in my expert opinion, I believe that if Shakespeare had not become the playwright that we know today, he probably would have continued his career as an actor. He would probably not have been that successful. He was often booed off the stage in his performances, and he would probably just be another actor we would have forgotten by now.
Shakespeare created hundreds of words and phrases that we still use today. Things like fight fire with fire, green-eyed monster, heart of gold. Shakespeare created the knock-knock joke. He's credited with creating the knock-knock who's there form that we use for knock-knock jokes. English without Shakespeare, without his plays, would be radically different than it is today.
Well, ultimately, Shakespeare became a very wealthy, successful man, which was really unheard of for a playwright in his time. And even now, hundreds of years later, people still flock to Central Park in the summer to see his plays performed as they were back then, and they love it just as much.
Without Shakespeare, we would be lacking for the loss of him. Without Shakespeare, we wouldn't have things like the romantic comedy. Shakespeare created that genre. We wouldn't have that sort of archetypal plot of two people in love who can't be together because of forces beyond their control. We wouldn't have books like Twilight. We wouldn't have movies like Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Modern media would be so much less if we didn't have Shakespeare to thank for all the great things that he did.
Good friend, for Jesus' sake forbear to dig the dust enclosed here. Blessed be the man that spares these stones, and cursed be he that moves my bones.